Welcome back to Quarantine Cooking. Hashtag everything's fine with me, Alex, here in day 5,420 of quarantine. Today, thinking about how to stay on brand, right? Because now this is an ongoing thing. This is like episode maybe 8 or 9 at this point. Thought about what I could make that seems appropriate for what I've been making and sort of have established myself as a chef. And I figure, how many times have I been drinking vodka while making the food? Maybe I should start cooking with it. So we're gonna make a vodka sauce. Hello. All right, so these are the ingredients for my vodka sauce. We've got the white onion, the tomatoes, of course, some heavy whipping cream, crushed red pepper, basil, which was not easy to come by, friends. Like, let's just, butter and olive oil, and of course, the star, my companion helping me through this whole pandemic, the vodka. So let's get to cooking. I want to take this moment to thank all of my many followers. The 12 of you have really kept me going through this pandemic, and I appreciate all of your feedback and contribution to the cooking show. Many have contributed ideas about things I should make, as well as cookware, largely my mother, and with the cookware. And I would also like to thank Lindsay, who today is contributed the playlist. So this is the playlist that she made that's called Alex Cooks. I'm already jamming on it. It's great. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to chop up this one white onion and put it into, it's supposed to be a skillet, but I'm a little concerned about the skillets that I have and whether they have an appropriate space for the sauce. So I'm going to do this in a pot. I think that should be fine, but I guess we'll find out. So I'm going to chop up this onion to be put into the pot where I will add it with the olive oil and I think the butter, and then we'll combine it. Watching Food Network, and I think that you cut through this end of the onion first. God damn it. Oh, everything's fine. Oh, I'm gonna cry. So I want to peel the onion because we don't want to eat this. What they call this the mise en place part of the cooking, which I'm sure in French means getting it all ready. See, this is the part where the tears come, much like a normal Sunday night. Am I right? Okay. No one needs to worry. I'm doing just fine. Oh, Linz, the meatloaf. Fuck. Onions. Spot. For love, but I won't chop onions. Oh, okay, the tears are coming. Hold on. Try. Okay. It's overestimating. Okay. All right, we've reached a critical point. All right. That's enough onion. That's enough onion. We're done. Okay. Didn't want to get emotional on the couch. That's a lot of onion. Okay. All right. I just dropped some in the sink. That onion is done. We're just done with that onion. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to add the olive oil and the butter. Get myself together first. The olive oil and the butter, and just more vodka for myself because this was the whole thing. And get the onions translucent in the pan, which I've been told takes about 8 minutes, but I've learned to not trust any recipe timelines whatsoever. So on to the next step. I've already messed up. So you're supposed to melt the butter with the oil first and then put the onions in, so the onions should not be in the pan yet. So I'm going to just put these here chopped onions into a little bowl, which was, could have been done from the start, but I didn't know. Tablespoon of butter, and tablespoon of olive oil, which is in my new measuring spoon. Thank you, Mom. I now have I have a teaspoon measuring spoon, which is very exciting. I haven't had that before, as you've seen. All right, melt the butter and the oil, add the onions, and translucinate. That's a word. Just melting butter and oil. Nothing to see here, just melting the butter and the oil. Smells good, starting to look good, nearly translucent, almost ready for step number 2. Or was it 3? No. Don't forget, the vodka's not just for cooking. Stir liberally. Okay, cooking terminology. Translucent probably doesn't mean browning, which is starting to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next part where I add the tomatoes. We just have 1 jar of the 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes with basil, which is also good in the vodka sauce. We're just going to pour that right in there. This is over medium heat. I'm going to stir it. So I've been instructed by the internet to cook this for about 25 minutes until almost all the liquid is gone, which seems interesting to me. But there were lots of different recipes for vodka sauce. It took me a long time to settle on this one, and that largely happened because it has the ingredients that I bought. So, yeah. So this is going to now cook for 25 minutes. I'm stirring liberally before. Looks like sauce. Winning. So fun fact, basil doesn't keep very long. It looks like some of this basil has gone brown in the leaves. But that's okay. I don't need a lot. I'm just going to find some workable basil. And I'm going to try a fancy chef knife cut called a chiffonade. Motherfucker. Chiffonade is basically where you're making like long, thin strands of the herb. You gotta roll it, and so the first step for me is gonna be finding leaves that work. It still smells very good. Smells very good. But I'm gonna find some leaves, and just for fun, because it's just gonna go on top of the sauce at the end of it. I'm gonna do that. All right, so it turned out most of the basil not so good, which is okay because this recipe doesn't actually call for it. But again, so I'm going to do a chiffonade. So I'm rolling up the basil leaf just like this. And the only point of reference I have about this is through shows like Top Chef. So we're gonna do a little thin cuts of the basil. So that, look at that, you've got these little pretty strands that are gonna go in the. I'm so fancy. All right, we're gonna do this a little bit more in the chiffonade. You're a chiffonade. That's what you are. That's what you sound like. Chiffonade this bitch. Shift this motherfucker. There you have it, chiffonaded basil, ready for the fancy top off, soon to come. It's soon to come. All right, cool. I was your clown. Ooh, ooh. Nobody knows it. Nobody knows. Right from the start, I gave you my heart. Oh. Gave you my heart. All right, so while the sauce is cooking, I'm going to make the pasta, and I'm not gonna mess it up. Not gonna mess it up. Just gonna fill this large sauce pan pot. Doesn't matter with water. I'm gonna salt the water. I'm gonna boil the water, and I'm going to put in the pound of pasta. Spaghetti. You would think I would get penne because it's penne alla vodka, but no. I defy convention. I'm going spaghetti because I have it and I didn't want to buy any more pasta because I have pounds and pounds of pasta. So, salt the water, go Bills. All right, we're cooking with gas, literally and figuratively. Gotta boil it for another couple of minutes. There's that there trusty timer. So here we go. We're going to, I'm gonna first turn down the heat a little bit because it's been spitty. It's been very spitty when I untop it. I'm gonna give it a little stir first. I've been told to stir often, and that's looking pretty good. It says to cook down until most of the liquid is gone. I'm very reliant on time indicators with this stuff because I don't know. So, 1 cup of the heavy cream. Oh, it's very heavy, this cream. All right. For the pinkification of the vodka sauce, which is so recognizable. So it's a 1/4 cup of vodka. I'm just gonna, like barely what I put in half of a cocktail. That's all you need. All right. And then just the red pepper flake, just a 1/4 teaspoon. Might be a little bit liberal with that because, you know, who doesn't like it a little spicier? It's a heaping quarter teaspoon. Okay, so I'll turn the heat back up. I will give that a little stir first. I'm gonna turn the heat back up. Ooh. All right, it's getting to have that signature vodka sauce look. So I'm gonna turn the heat up. Oh, I accidentally turned the heat off. All right, so we gotta bring this to a boil and let it boil. It only said for 2 minutes, which seems short, but it's gonna then simmer for a bit because my pasta sauce isn't even boiling. My pasta water isn't even boiling yet. So it's gonna be some time before I eat this. I do have to taste it to salt and pepper it appropriately, but it's looking like vodka sauce. This is very exciting. So I'll report back. Pretty good. I've just turned the heat down. Not nearly enough. I've turned the heat down a bit on my vodka sauce because it's boiled down for a number of minutes now. I'm going to start the seasoning process. It looks really good, so I'm just gonna do that with the salt, and then get a little crushed black pepper action going, which I can't do with one hand, so we're gonna have to figure this out. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, you guys. Alright, so let's stir that up and taste a little bit. It looks good. And then once we serve this, we're going to be topping it with a lot of Parmesan cheese, so that's also going to be very good. It looks beautiful. Oh, it's so pretty. It does look like your traditional expectation of a vodka sauce. So let's give it a little taste with salt and pepper. You taste the salt added. That's why my palate's so sophisticated, obviously. So we will shortly be concluding this portion. Now, this is a cooking show doubleheader. Once I've finished the vodka sauce, I'm going to be moving on to dessert. So stay all kinds of tuned for that. This is a great song, Lindsay. Pasta water, finally boiling. Gonna put it in, and soon it's dinner time. I usually chop the pasta in half, and we're gonna see how this works. We're gonna be fancy pasta making. Let's see how it goes. How long has this been on? Kids, look at this beautifulness. We've got the pasta almost ready to come out of the water, but like, come on, this shit's legit, yo. It's about to get steamy, kids. steamy. Plate, pasta spoon, and freshly drained pasta. Spaghetti. We will now scoop some of the delicious vodka sauce that I've just made from scratch. Ooh, it's a little thicker than I thought. This is even better. Yum, yum. Ooh. Now, a little bit of the chiffonaded basil. Ooh, this plate's getting hot. Holy shit. Oh, basil's in one clump. It's fine. And then some Parmesan cheese, as promised. I'm going to do a nice little sprinkle. And by little, I mean liberal. And here it is. Here it is, kids. I mean, just like a professional looking plate of food. I'm gonna taste it. Look at how pretty you are. You're so pretty. You're so pretty. This delicious looking plate of food. Maybe a little bit more basil, because I'm not gonna like save that for later. Oh, the basil. Chiffonade. And now we taste. Don't go breaking my heart. The pasta then says, I couldn't if I tried. Gonna eat you. I'm very excited about this one, friends. Here is the deliciousness of the bite, fully cheesed and basiled, and here we go. Restaurant quality. Listen. A lot of things I've said that wasn't really hard, and I've been like, oh, but it could probably have been done better, or like, I could have made it harder if I did it correctly, but this was really easy. So don't buy vodka sauce, make it super, super easy. It's delicious. So I'm gonna eat it now, because I now then need to move on to the cupcake portion of the evening. Stay tuned. Happy cooking!